Welcome and hello, my name's Alison. I own Virtually Admin Solutions, and the aim of my business is to take your admin pain away. And today we're going to be talking about project management tools. Now, I don't know about you, but I've managed quite a few, been the administrator on quite a few projects. And as business owners, it can be very overwhelming if you have lots of ideas in your head and you know there's lots of steps that you have to complete, but you haven't got a succinct place to put those and really to manage things properly. And you can have a lot of sleepless nights if you don't have such a tool up in place. So today we're going to look at a couple of different tools that I have used or clients have used with me, including Asana, Trello, and Google Sheets. And I'm just going to share my screen a few times to do that. So if we just start with the Asana, just give me a few minutes. So Asana is a great tool, and even with the free version, there is a lot of functionality in it. As you can see, this is the sort of dashboard to it. You have your home bar, you have the tasks are just for you, you have your inbox where messages come into. Reporting is a new feature, actually I haven't seen that yet. And then you can have portfolios and goals. So depending on the version that you have, there's different views. But as you can see here, if you have a new project, if you start off by pressing new project, create a new project, you can start with a total blank, a blank project where you give it the name, you set then the privacy, so it could be private to project members, so if you have different people collaborating with you, you can add them in, private only to yourself, so only you see that. And then the really good thing about it is they have different views. So you can have a list, which is like this. You can have a board, which is more a bit like Trello, where you have the sort of more visual, which is good for visual visual learners and people who prefer that. I actually prefer the list view. I think is easier for me to see, but it's totally up to you and your own personality. If you have the premium version of Asana, you can have the timeline where you can see the different milestones and where people are assigned to do different things. Or you can have the calendar view where you can also see the different things that are coming up, which is very useful. And so if we go back, so that's a blank one where you can create from scratch. But if you go back and actually look at the other options, so you can import a spreadsheet. So if you have a spreadsheet already of like tasks and subtasks, you can import that and then edit it within, or you can use a template. And it's worth maybe at the start, first of all, looking at the templates that are on offer because they have a lot. And I thought starting a business checklist is very useful, and they have all these tasks that you can see. The other one that I've seen, which I thought was quite a return to office plan, which is good for after the pandemic times, new hire checklist for managers, because there's a lot of steps obviously in an onboarding type process for that. And you can use that template, call it whatever you want. So it might be, business onboarding if you have new staff coming into your team, wherever, private to me, and then you can edit anything that they have here already. So as you can see, there's a sort of a folder name, and then you have the subtasks. You have the main task and the subtasks. You can change any of these things around as you want. You can add in, as you see here, example task. You can edit all of those things. And the really good thing is that you can rename it, you can delete it, whatever you want to do. And the good thing is as well for all of these things, excuse me, is that if say that you have different people working with you, if you're self-employed or not, you can invite people into this board. You can invite people into your board and you can edit all the details of it, okay? You can invite people in as collaborators, and then over here for every task where you have the assignee, you can assign the task to someone. So if you have, you can see invite teammates via email here, you can put the due date, you can put then the priority, high, medium, low, and any other notes. Oh, that's a custom, any of the notes that you may have, which is really good. And then when you're in the task itself, you see they have all these instructions even that you can keep to help other people in your team. And you can add in here, you can ask a question, you can post an update, you can add a file, you can, you've all these smileys and they have a lot and formatting options there. So they have a lot of things that you can do. And even here, you can have, you can name this and recreate any way you want. So you can have like task, doing, done, completed, whatever it happens to be. So worth looking first of all at their templates. And the second thing that I would say is, just when we were there at the home, I have one, for example, for course creation, because I created my own online course in January 2021, which is on my website. And creating an online course or a course of any kind, there's a lot of steps. And so I had my steps here, as you can see, and all the different things. And then as you complete them, you can mark them off. You can mark complete here at the top, and or take them, or just mark as done, whatever you prefer, so you can still see them. So that's a really good way to have an overview. And as you can see, then it creates as a board. And you can have, I don't have the premium function, but you can also see the calendar. And if I had tasks in there, it would appear. So that's a really good, Asana is a really good way to get your head around a project like that and to get it out of your head and somewhere you can manage. So, and the really good thing as well, of course, is that you can access it as an app on your phone or via your desktop or laptop or whatever the main sort of, whatever you're used to, device you're used to using. So I'm just going to stop sharing that. And I'm now going to share with you instead the Asana, just to give you a bit of a look of how it looks as well. So I'm just getting Trello, sorry, did I say Asana? Trello, I meant Trello. And so this is an example board on Trello, same sort of idea. You have these boards, you can move them around. It is more, you can have a board, as you can see here, a map, a timeline, a calendar, a dashboard. So whatever is easiest for you to work with and the people that you work, and that's individual to you, you see. And this is just an example sort of template for social media planning. So you have your ideas here, what you want to do. And then I created one here for my 3-day challenge, my Get Organized challenge that I was running, content for the challenge and content for the website and the Facebook and the promo and the LinkedIn and everything else. And every time you want to add something, you just add a card like this. And then if you actually click within the little thing, you'll see it's the same idea, that you can add a further description, you can add dates, you can add attachments if you need to remember, you can add a member, and then you can copy it, or you can make this a template, whatever you want to do, and share it with other people. And then you can have checklists. For example, if you're doing a podcast regularly, you can have the podcast checklist, send an invitation to podcast, get blurb about guests, get their image, create the image for all your different social media platforms, etc., etc. And normally what I've seen happening for a lot of podcast sort of tasks like that normally a virtual assistant will can create a board like this with you, and then share back with you the things that you have to do. And that's the same for other freelancers, website developers and things like that, who ideally they would create a board and share it back with you and ask you for your input for certain things. So that's just to give you an overview sort of how that looks in the same way. And then I'm just going to share lastly with you how something that's simple like a Google Sheet. Okay, so if we just go, and I'll just find it as well. Let me see. So Google Sheets is really good if you haven't used a Google Sheet before. It's just like an Excel. So Google have Google Sheets, Microsoft have Excel. And I find they have this great template. And if I can go back one maybe to where you can see the templates at the start. So when you're logged into your Google account, I've just created a test account for this, but you'll see that they have Google Sheets and then they have loads of templates. So I had opened wedding planner and to-do list just to show you. So to-do list, if we start with that first, very, very simple. It's a list to do. You put in the task that you want to do here, you put in the date, and then you can mark it as done. That's it. Okay, it can't get any simpler than that. For the other templates they have lots of different, in here in the template gallery, they have loads of different things. You see with budget and, you know, more complicated things like Gantt charts and project tracking, the whole lot. But if we go to something, for example, like a wedding planner, which, you know, a lot of people would say that planning a wedding and moving a house are the two most stressful things you can do. They have a really good template here. They tell you how to use it. And then you see along the bottom here, they have all the tabs to do. I love that they have in to do. Number one is find your perfect partner. And as you can see here, they have a due date for that. So that's kind of a bit hard to estimate, isn't it? But then once you have the status, you can mark the status: done, late, in progress, not started, example, etc. And you can put the notes there of what you want, you know, any additional notes. And then they have along the tabs at the bottom, it's really good, you know, the budget. They've set up the budget estimator. They have the invitations, you know, what you need to think about. The seating chart, even they have that all planned out. That's really good. So you can edit any of these things as you want. You can file, you simply file and make a copy, you know, make a copy of it and, you know, use the same template but for a different function if you want. So that's just to give you some ideas. I'll just stop sharing that. That's just to give you some ideas about the different tools that are out there that can really simplify your life. And it doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need to make it complicated, as long as you have something that suits you and how you process information and how you share information. Is it visual boards? Is it a list? Is it a timeline? Something that integrates easily with other tools that you may have, something that maybe you can have a trial version of and test out for a while, and something that there is support depending on how tech savvy you are. And there'll always be questions. It doesn't matter how tech savvy you are, there'll always things come up you don't know how to do. Always worth checking out their support first of all, and do they have video tutorials, PDF tutorials? Is there a live chat function that you can do those things as well? So I hope that's helpful. If you need any one-to-one tutorials or anything, or any help setting up any project management tools, please give me a shout. It's Alison from Virtually Admin Solutions, taking your admin pain away. Thank you.